And there are a variety of models that you can use when collaborating. That is the next point in the agenda. We will go through them, some of them at least. And that is joint venture, licensing, outsourcing, crowdsourcing or open innovation, collaboration, that is not a joint venture, more loose ties, and R&D consortia. And a joint venture, this is important, that is a carefully constructed contractual agreement. It's very formal. Capital, resources and earnings are specified. Costs and benefits and risks are equally shared. It might be that you form a new entity that pool the specialized resources and leverage the capabilities of the two partners, or more partners. It could be more partners. That can make this new entity gain new capabilities that the mother companies lacked. A joint venture also means that partners get access to your core competencies and core capabilities, and they get access to your core competencies. And core competencies is what you do best, the essence, the core of your business. What are you really good at? What gives you your competitive edge? So it's really important for you, your core competencies and your core capabilities. And one example of a joint venture is Invamed Pharma Incorporation. That was a company called New Life Scientific from the US and Invafarm from Ukraine. And they joined forces to manufacture a prescription drug for the US market. New Life Scientific provided funding, and Invafarm provided technical know-how and intellectual property. Each party would have 50% stakes in the venture. So they formed a new entity, and Invafarm, who was the Ukrainian company, they had the know-how and an intellectual property. They had probably developed this, but they did not have the capital and the knowledge of the American market, so they could not launch their product there. Therefore, they needed this bigger player, New Life Scientific, who could provide this, and they in turn needed this new invention. So that is how you can collaborate in a joint venture. The second one is licensing, and that is basically when you sell the right to use your intellectual property to someone else, and you do that you don't license it like you sell the right altogether forever. It's like you have to pay a sum, monthly sum or yearly sum, to continue using. And for the licensee, that is a rapid and not so costly and not so risky way to get new capabilities and new knowledge and a new product that they can incorporate in their business. And it might also help them learn and develop their own core capabilities while using this technology from the other firm. It is, however, limited in control and power, and if you have not licensed the worldwide rights, it's also available to others that can use the exact same technology. The licensor, the one who has the technology, they get a big market penetration, and it inhibits competitors, because why should you develop it yourself when you can license it? It provides a steady stream of royalties. That is not so risky to do it like that. And it gives learning opportunities, because you have lots of users that use your technology and you can learn from them. However, the control of the technology might erode over time as the licensees start to learn more and might be able to jump to the next generation of the technology and skip the things that they used to license from you. They cannot copy what they licensed from you, but they might become so skilled so that they can develop something new that is even better. Then we have outsourcing. And that is basically when you realize, okay, we need to take care of this in our company. Should we do it ourselves or should we pay someone else to do it for us? And that is quite good because you can quickly meet the scale of demands of the market. If you have all of a sudden lots of people wanting to buy your technology, then you could outsource something, perhaps manufacturing, to be able to quickly produce what the market demands from you. And it's no long-term capital investment involved, so you're kind of flexible still. Might be more expensive to have outsourcing in the long run, but it gives you a flexibility. If the market changes quickly, then you can change contract and quit collaborating and outsourcing and quit the outsourcing agreement. And there's no increased labor force on your side when you outsource something. It might even be that you can cut some of the labor force. You might have heard about Ericsson outsourcing a lot of stuff to consultancy companies, and that makes them flexible. They can, when times get rough, they can kind of scale down really quickly and stop the contracts with the outsourcing companies. When you outsource things that are not your core competencies, you can actually focus on them in your company. So you can develop your core competencies. That might be R&D, design, or marketing, or something like that. It might not be that you're really good at IT administration or at invoices and that kind of stuff. So you can outsource that to another company. Then you don't have to deal with that yourself. There is, of course, always a risk. You might risk losing valuable knowledge through learning, and you have less control. And you might find yourself very closely tied to a company that handles something for you, and you might find yourself in a situation where you cannot easily terminate that contract because they have so much information and they know so much and have so much experience of working with you, so no one else could take their place in a smooth way. So you might find yourself very closely tied to them, and that, of course, they will be aware of that. And when they know that you're a secure client, they will not perhaps focus so much on the request that you make because they know there's no threat. You will not leave them, and they might have higher prices, increase their prices. Then we have crowdsourcing and open innovation. Crowdsourcing and open innovation are kind of two terms, and I will treat them as one, even though there are distinctions between them. But basically it is when you leverage the fact that there's a lot of creativity out there, and there's a cooperation between developer, producer, and customer/user, and you make them work with you to do something. The customer is in focus, and this is quite common for IT and online tools to let the users, invite the users to collaborate and give their ideas. It will enable a rapid response to market demands, and it might be a good way to keep ahead of the trends. And you might be first to market with a next new hip thing, but it might be hard to manage sometimes. Then we have collaboration. That is a non-joint venture. It's a collaboration that is relatively informal. Might be that you have a common interest of some kind. Could be flexible in structure and purpose. And one classic example is collaboration between university and companies. It might be that the researchers, they really need interesting problems, and they want to know about what the companies do, what challenge them. And the companies, they want new knowledge. They want to know how can we make our business more effective. Is there a new material that could do this and that? How could we handle this new magnets or something like that? No, there's endless of varieties of research that you could do that would benefit a company. And the researcher wants opportunities to publish something interesting. So that would be a loose collaboration that you have. For me, it's when I go out to ABB and I interview them, and they give me a lot of their time and their energy, and I get lots of interesting data that I can use to publish, but they will also get something out of it. They will get insights into the way that they work that would otherwise cost a lot in consultancy hours if they would hire consultants to do this. We will do it for free. We will come and have a workshop with them and just tell them that, okay, this is how you have handled your new innovations. You are focused on this, and perhaps you should change that a bit. So they will get something in return. That is a very loose collaboration that we have. And we have a collaboration agreement that is a bit not so structured. It's not like the joint venture where you have a carefully constructed contractual agreement. The last one, R&D consortia. And this, the shareholders are often government, industry, and university that go together to reduce costs and risks and to pool expertise and capabilities. Perhaps they want to influence industry standard. And competition for dominant design is very expensive, so perhaps that is what they want to accomplish. That would be better for everyone. Dominant design, as you might remember, is the final version of a new product that becomes that product. Like a bicycle. You know what a bicycle looks like now, but that was not obvious in the beginning, in the 17th century. No, sorry, not 17th century, 19th century, when the bicycles were new. This might also be to reduce competition, to get kind of the power of the few. And when you do this, the partners get access to your core capabilities and you'll get access to theirs. One example is this 6 Japanese manufacturers, Toshiba, Fujitsu, Hitachi, and some others. And they set up a collective research company called Aspla, I think, to develop designs for more advanced computer chips. And this was because global competition had driven margins down, which led to major losses for the Japanese companies. In parallel to this, research had become more expensive. So, in order to compete with manufacturers in the rest of the world, they joined forces and invested $1.3 million and decided that each of these players should contribute with $85 million annually. And the Japanese government was also in on this, because of course the Japanese government wants to keep jobs in Japan and keep money flowing to Japan. So they agreed to contribute with $268 million, I think it was. That was an R&D consortium. They collaborated to conduct R&D, research and development.